Alrighty, my name is Hannah Adams, and I am one of the co-makers of Detective Bubs. We also have in here, we have Alex, we have Taylor, Hailey, Violet, and Val, and Chloe, who couldn't fortunately be with us tonight, but all contributed into this game. We each took the time to make every single asset. Everything is pixelated and drawn, and everyone did a really great job. So for Detective Bubs, we have this little duck character who is a rubber duck, and his name is Detective Bubs. Now, Detective Bubs is a detective in a bath time world, and his task is to find all of the clues and find out what's been going on recently in the bathtub, where we have various different characters, and he has to follow the clues and figure out why are their bath toys missing. And it's just a really fun puzzle game where you have to go around and putting your clues in bubbles, and it's just a really great time. And like again here we have the chief that he has to talk to. It's like his partner in crime that he talks to, and he helps him out and gives him clues, or he just lets him know what's going on. Now in this game, I will say we are mainly animators in here, and we're still working on coding. Alex has been doing an amazing job getting the walking simulation done and having the transitions. So we're trying our best to learn coding, mainly Alex, and we're trying to help him any way possible. So as you see, like he's climbing down the hair, and he has to go and basically find the culprit who's kidnapping these toys. And yeah, Haley, if you had anything you wanted to add with that.
So yeah, mainly I feel like our game, a lot of it is going to be where you're looking for clues to find what happened to the bath toys, and I feel like we may implement a part where there is a final boss that is overall taking the bath toys. Yeah, I'm very proud of all of us. We are all animators, and Alex here has been learning coding just for us, so we can be able to present this game to you guys. We don't have a lot of gameplay implemented yet, but when our trailer does drop, a lot of it shows our proof of concept or how we want the gameplay to look like in the end, which we're going to try to get before the deadline.
Yeah. So there are certain systems that I'm trying to get implemented. Some things that I need to smooth out. So like jumping animation is a bit delayed for certain things that I just need to iron out. I'm trying to make the dialogue tree a bit more complicated than it probably needs to be, but I want it to be able to be a bit more snarky occasionally. I guess whenever Detective Bubs talks based upon our script. Um, and I have to implement a item system in which you're able to inspect and bubble up items, which will be shown on the trailer for when we're able to post it. Um, yeah, no, this is just a learning experience for all of us. This is my first time making a game within Unity on this code, so I've been learning different plugins and things of that nature. This is just a learning experience for this entire team. Um, and compared to the last projects that we put out, this is definitely the one that we've pulled together the most in terms of concept and everything else. Um, and this rubber duck is on the case. Yay.
But yeah, so this is mainly our game. We just have a detective duck that we're trying to do, and in the future, what we're really wanting to do is obviously finalize this game, but we want to have it to where later on we have more maps and stories and even more clues. And normally what you would see is like in the sewers or even up above, there would be like a clue on the ground, whether it be a piece of hair, a toenail, a piece of weird gross cheese, or a band-aid of this culprit leaving a mess around the bathtub. So later on, we would really like it if we had the chance to show that animation of him putting the clues in a bubble and then it showing up in the inventory. So what we really need right now is just time to really hone down and just get all of that together and make it look clean and smooth. Like again, like what Haley said, is it's just basically we have the trailer, which it's really good, and it gives a good representation of what our game looks like. And Yeah, for the most part, this is our game, and by the end of it, we'd also like to have a boss fight, possibly, and have more clues and puzzles that the player will be able to go and try to solve, whether it's looking for something, whether it's figuring out a letter and then putting it together. We just want it to be super interactive and make sure that the player is able to explore different places other than just the office, the bathtub, and the sewers.
All
But
right.
yes, this is our game.
They'll get to explore more than the bathtub. I love it.
Yes, sir.
Medi asks, is it a detective or a duck-tective?
It is a duck detective.
All right, Medi, you got it. You were right. They've got a rubber duck-tective. You're talking about adding a boss fight at the end. Is that going to require more mechanics for you in the game, or that's just using the current mechanics you have in place?
I think we're going to try to use the current mechanics we have in place. Like later on, if this game really goes through, we'd love to improve it and actually evolve it into a bigger boss fight, which you'll see in the trailer at some point when it's posted if people haven't seen it yet. Like we have a really fun like hidden clues of who possibly the boss is, and we would really like to have a chance where he can use his little bubble blowing detective glass and be able to like, attack the boss. So we would like to, right now it would be pretty simple, but then evolve it over time.
Excellent. All right. Sherry Crisp on YouTube says, I love that rubber duck detective. So you got a good character in place now. It's interesting you went for the film noir black and white look with a rubber ducky.
Yes, sir. I believe that was, I can't remember who specifically's idea that was to make it black and white. It was either Hailey or...
It was mine.
It was Hailey.
I love like old noir detective James Bond.
Yes, and it was perfect when she pitched that. So we wanted it to be like where this rubber duck, who's normally just a cute little duck to the normal eye, has this own little like noir office in the crack of the bathtub. And we want it to be like, ooh, mysterious, and I'm so serious. This is my life. This is what I do. My life is dangerous. But in reality, when he leaves his office, it's just a really cute bubble time world.
Yeah, I feel like there are a bunch of Humphrey Bogart, Sam Spade jokes in there some here, but I'm not going to come up with them yet. Yeah, looking good. Sounds good. Now, with the boss fight, are you seeing them collecting items to help with that beyond what they've got now? But really, it's just the tools they have now being used correctly.
Actually, I think that would be, and if anyone else agrees in my team, that would be really fun if he could maybe maybe have clues that could help him at some point. We could maybe have him build like a different weapon, or maybe they're just, at some point, he could just use his normal little bubble blowing wand. I keep forgetting what to call that. I'm sorry. Little wand, either to
spyglass.
Yeah, spyglass. So either he can we can have it to where maybe he can use the items that are in the bubbles to throw it at the character, whether like throw the Band-Aid at him or throw the piece of cheese or just something like just really fun and interactive so that you can drop those items in your inventory, maybe launch it at the boss fight. We think that would be something really fun to put into that.
I think you answered this, but Indy Sunflower asked, whose idea was it to be about a duck? About a duck.
I want to say Taylor. I think Taylor here is the one that first thought it should be a really cute duck. And then after we heard that the theme was bubble on that, like on Monday when it was released, we immediately were like, oh my gosh, a rubber duck. Like this is the best idea ever. So I think Taylor had a really big part in that on the duck part of it.
It was originally a yellow duck with a bat, and now he's a detective noir duck.
So it went from bat duck to duck detective. I get you. All right. So this is everybody's first game in Unity, right? So what has been the hardest part about your learning curve?
Everything coding, definitely.
Yeah.
So any specific areas that are being problematic?
Implementing. So I had worked with
Alex,
Unreal Engine.
you want to answer that part since you're the one that has to be the main one to do this?
Yeah. I had to deal with Unreal Engine in the past, and so I was more familiar with nodes.
Is he talking?
Oh, is my stuff not coming through?
No, you're coming through.
Oh,
Nodes are...
Okay. Sorry, that was my fault. My bad.
Yeah, nodes are definitely different from anything you got in Unreal.
Yeah.
Blueprint's very different.
So there still are some node systems, and I'm trying to implement Node X into Unreal through a plugin, but I'm still struggling a bit to write some of the scripts for some parts and to iron out certain things. Some things occasionally not showing up just because like maybe I didn't implement the code fully correctly, going back and rereading through my scripts to make sure I didn't make a wrong connection between certain like typing out words wrong, things of that nature. Just basically keeping all the code in order, I think, has been our biggest hurdle so far.
Now, it sounded like a number of other of you were going to work on in Unity as well. What's it been like for you working in Unity? The rest of you are picking it up.
So I have never touched coding in Unity before. I'm planning on learning so we can help Alex. I learned coding 8 years ago back in high school in Snap, and that is my only coding experience. I don't know if anyone remembers what Snap was or is, but it was a very simple coding place where you just snapped code together. You didn't have to write anything.
Right.
And so I'm going to be, I haven't yet, but I am going to learn how to help Alex the best that I can with some of the coding elements. But it's just, I guess, the hurdle of figuring out where to start because I'm an animator. I have no coding experience at all except in Snap. And so just kind of figuring out how to start learning and where to start so I can help Alex as best as I can.
Well, Unity was made for artists, so it's the perfect thing for you. And Snap and Scratch are both wonderful tools for getting started in coding. So do you all have a repository of any type set up yet? Nope. Alex?
By repository, do you mean like where we keep all of our assets and everything?
Yeah, code repository.
We mainly use Box
Okay.
as a backup. We need to set up a proper sheet for certain things, but overall we do keep most of our stuff within Box.
All right. I didn't know if Augusta, you're going to Augusta, if they give you a Unity account that gives you the Unity repository system or not.
Sadly, no, but we do have free access to Box, so we have unlimited storage within Box.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah, looking forward to seeing what comes next. Good plan. Glad you're keeping it pretty tight and limited. So looking forward to playing through this in the future. All
yes,
right.
sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yep. With no other questions from the chat, let's hear all of you telling us which games you are rooting for during the Best in Georgia. We've got 5 good ones. Bubble Up, Night of the Living Bubble, Bubble Yaga, Suck It Up, and Detective Bub. Is it Bub or Bubs?
Bubs.
Bubs. Of course, Bubbles. There we go. Detective Bubs. That's absolutely right. All right, everybody. We'll be following with our teams. If they're showing it any places like SimFest or the Atlanta Science Fiction Expo, we will be publicizing it. Remember that at KSU we'll be having the Transformer AI Conference April 26th to 27th. That Jesse James Allen will be joining us at SimFest along with Bob Carter, along with Joe Casava, along with Thor, Tiger Lily, Eric Lorenz, Anatoly Labarsky, and many other game devs. And April 19th at Siege Indie Game Festival, where the big winner will get space, just as they will at MomoCon. All right, Detective Bubs teams, let's say goodnight to everybody.
Night, guys. Night, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us on.
Take care, everybody.